What's going on, Art Wanderers? It's me once again, Sir Harold, your Wonder Art teacher, and still you are watching Valenzuela Live. Are you ready to time travel and explore different places full of wonderful things? Buckle up and be ready with your paper, pen, and self-learning module as we take on the Art Wonderful expedition on the Western classical art tradition only here in the Art Wonderland. Time travel and seize the world with full fun of learning. Discover the arts and crafts that represents culture and traditions. This is the Art Wonderland. But before we begin our Art Wonderful expedition, let us first be reminded of the protocols to follow during the live streaming class.
Protocols to follow during the live streaming class. Respect everyone. Agree to recognize and abide by the protocols in the live stream and respect the feelings, rights, or traditions of everyone. No hate speech. Do not express or discourage violence towards a person or group based on something such as race, religion, sex, or sexual orientation. Be guided with the anti-cyberbullying law. Make sure that everyone feels safe. Bullying of any kind isn't allowed, and degrading comments about things such as race, religion, culture, sexual orientation, gender, or identity will not be tolerated. No promotion of products or items. Give more to this group than you take. Selling of products, self-promotion, spam, and irrelevant links aren't allowed. Use appropriate words in giving suggestions, comments, and queries. We're all in this together to create a welcoming environment. Let's treat everyone with respect. Healthy debates are natural, but kindness is required. After the FB live streaming, attend follow-up discussion in the different platforms provided by your subject teachers such as Messenger, Google Classroom, Google Meet, or MS Teams. Maximize the features of the different platforms to deepen your understanding of the competencies with the help of your subject teachers.
I hope everyone will be guided by the protocols for us to maintain order during our session. At the end of our Art Wonderful expedition, you are expected to create artworks guided by techniques and styles of Western classical art traditions. Describe the influence of iconic artists belonging to Western classical art on the evolution of art forms. Apply different media techniques and processes to communicate ideas, experiences, and stories showing the characteristics of Western classical art traditions. Evaluate works of art in terms of artistic concepts and ideas using criteria from the Western classical art traditions. And show influences of the Western classical art traditions to Philippine art form. Before you get fully excited, here once again our art travel buddy, Bonky, to guide and help you in accomplishing different tasks in our Art Wonderful expedition.
Hello Art Wanderers, let's have a recap on your previous journey with Ma'am Ivy on the sculptures and architectures of the Western classical art traditions by playing a game entitled What Period Am I? Different characteristics and functions of an architecture will be given, and you will identify what period is being described. You may key in your answers in our comment section, or you may write them directly on your answer sheets. I will give you 5 seconds for each item. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 1. Architecture in this period had huge halls and arenas used for public games, baths, and procession erected by the emperors. If your answer is Roman era, you are right. Number 2. The sculptures in this period have tense, stiff, and their bodies were hidden within enfolding robes. If your answer is Greek era, you are indeed making the right decision. Number 3. The architecture in this period was made of huge stone blocks and rocks that served as monuments that had always ignited man's imagination, and were intended for burial. If your answer is prehistoric era, affirmative. You got it right. Number 4. Some of the famous sculptural pieces in this period are reliquaries, altar frontals, crucifixes, and devotional images. If your answer is Romanesque era, you are certainly correct. And for the last number. The architectural design in this period included 2 new devices, such as pointed arch and stone vaulting, and used for church ornamentation and spreading the faith in Christianity. If you answered Gothic era, that is right. Great job, Art Wanderers. Back to you, Sir Harold.
Thank you, Bonky, for that art wonderful task. Now, let us see what you know about the different Philippine art forms by having another task entitled Classify the following artworks. You will classify the different Philippine art forms by choosing your answer from the choices inside the box. Your choices are Pampanga's Capiz Lantern, Singkaban, Manunggul Jar, San Sebastian Church, Bulol, and San Agustin Church. You may key in your answer in our comment section, or you may write them directly on your answer sheets. You will be given 5 seconds for each item. Take it away, Bonky!
Let's start with number 1, and your timer starts now. If your answer is Manunggul Jar, you are correct. For number 2. If your answer is San Sebastian Church, that is right. Let's now proceed to number 3. Your time is ticking. If you answered Bulol, affirmative. You got it right. And for the last number, number 4. If your answer is Pampanga's Capiz Lantern, you are certainly correct. Wonderful! You've matched all the paintings in the following art period. Congratulations! Back to you, Sir Harold.
Based on our previous task, classify the following artworks, shown an image of an artwork called Manunggul Jar. Are you familiar with that? I hope so, because you already encountered this work of art when you are in grade 7. I would like you to look closely on this Philippine artwork and answer this question. What are the different media techniques and processes to communicate ideas, experiences, and stories showing the characteristics of Western classical art traditions? I will give you a minute to look at it and answer the question. And your timer starts now. Let's examine the picture once again and answer the question, what are the different media techniques and processes to communicate ideas, experiences, and stories showing the characteristics of Western classical art traditions. The Manunggul jar is a secondary burial jar excavated from a Neolithic burial site in the Manunggul Cave of the Tabon Caves at Lipuon Point in Palawan, Philippines. It dates from 890 to 710 BC, and the two prominent figures at the top handle of its cover represents the journey of the soul to the afterlife. Just like in the Western classical art traditions, artworks found are also used as burial and depict or show their beliefs. Do we have the same answer? Wow, that's good to hear. Good job! Prehistoric to medieval arts have very rich characteristics, have specific functions in their lives and beliefs, are very modern and accurate in their designs, and become the key in understanding how the people at the early age live their lives. Try to relate some famous artworks of the early age to some Philippine artworks and reflect what they have in common or how they can be associated with each other. Number 1. Tutankhamun's inner coffin and Manunggul jar. You have 30 seconds to answer. The Egyptian coffins was made of gold, based on their cultural belief that God had skin of gold and formed into Pharaoh's figure and was found in Great Pyramids, while Manunggul jar was made of clay based on their art resources and was found in cave. Egypt and the Philippines both mummified their deceased person. They are both used as coffins for the dead. Number 2. Venus of Willendorf and Bulul. Your 30 seconds timer will start now. Venus of Willendorf was made of limestone, while Bulul was made of wood. Venus of Willendorf represents a mother figure, while Bulul has a man-shaped figure, although there are also some female Bulul. Both represents good luck charm and fertility charm. Number 3. Rose window and Capiz lantern. Your time is ticking. Rose windows were made of colored glass while the Capiz lantern was made of Capiz shells, colored papers, or colored plastics. Rose window comes with a natural light ray that gives a beautiful color effect when reflected by sun rays, while Capiz lantern uses bulbs to lighten up. They are used both for ornamentation and remembering or believing in Christianity. And for the last artwork, we have number 4, Notre Dame Cathedral and San Sebastian Church. You have 30 seconds to answer. Both are Gothic architectural style and are church place. A place used to worship God and spread Christianity. Have you related the characteristics and functions of the given artworks of the early age to the given Philippine artworks? That's great! It proves that the following Philippine artworks that we have shown influence of the Western classical art traditions. Let's have an art activity called Mosaic greeting cards. The ancient Greek were the first to manufacture mosaics. It was made of pebbles, usually black and white, used in the floor and pathways. Typically, pebbles are triangular or square applied with mortar or other adhesive to create floor and wall mosaics. Mosaic is the art of creating images with an assemblage of small pieces of colored glass, stone, or other materials. It is a technique of decorative art or interior decoration. And here are some design samples of mosaic arts. And here are the following materials. We have recycled candy wrappers, scissors, glue, ruler, cardboard, and a marker. Before I discuss and demonstrate the procedure to you, here is Bonky to represent the rubric that will be used in grading your work.
And here are the criteria for Mosaic greeting cards activity. Composition and design. Shows the theme and motifs of ancient Greek's mosaic. Process. Follows the instructions in doing the activity. Materials used. Used proper materials and tools prescribed in the activity. Behavior. Shows enjoyment while doing the activity. Overall look of the artwork. Depicts an ancient Greek's look on the mosaic. The maximum point in each criterion is 5 points while the minimum point is 1 point. Let's begin.
Cut your cardboard into 5 inches by 7 inches size for our greeting card project.
First thing to do, create your design for your greeting card mosaic. Clean the recycled candy wrapper that you will use for your mosaic. Cut your candy wrapper into small squares, rectangles, or circles. Be careful on using sharp objects, especially your scissors. Start pasting your candy wrappers into your design.
Easy peasy, right? We now have the Mosaic greeting card.
Do you have fun doing Mosaic greeting cards? That's great! And to wrap up our Art Wonderful expedition to the world of Western classical art, let's have once again our art travel buddy, Bonky!
Prehistoric art is not easy to understand. These artworks are clues for archaeologists in understanding the Stone Age civilization. Archaeologists are given a peek into the minds of the primitive people through their artworks and find out what they have experienced to produce those pictures. The characteristics of Egyptian art are a combination of geometric regularity and keen observation of nature. Their art was classified into three. First, art was used in the home furniture, jewelry, musical instruments, and many more. Second, art was used in the dead, tombs, masks, mummy cases, and wrapping for the body. Third, art was created for the gods and their priests and kings in temples, paintings, statues. The Greek art style was a taste of Western realism or naturalism. Artists have studied anatomy, physics, and optics, as well as techniques of carving, painting, building, goldworking, and ceramics. Roman artists tried to reproduce the world around them as realistically as they could. Their architecture was designed to reflect the power of the city, and to create in all people an awe of its imperial power. Roman art reflects a mixture of borrowed cultures fused together with local traditions to form their own styles and traditions. Byzantine art was the meeting place for Greek and Oriental culture. Romanesque style first evolved in the first third of the 12th century. It is a complete realization of religious and social functions, and has an architectural program with a wealth of sculptural decoration subordination to the architectural frame. Large stained glass windows, pointed arches, ribbed vaults, flying buttresses, and intricate decoration are common architectural aspects in the Gothic style, which can vary depending on location, age, and type of structure. Lastly, different Philippine artworks manifested influence from the Western classical art traditions.
I hope you have fun while learning in our Art Wonderful expedition with Bonky, because we already did. Right, Bonky?
Yes, Sir Harold. And I hope that our art wanderers will still join on the second leg of our Art Wonderful expedition, the arts of the Renaissance and Baroque periods.
Once again, this is Sir Harold, your Wonder Art teacher.
And I am Bonky, your art travel buddy.
And always remember, art is a product of our creativity and imagination. Having an aesthetic perspective on the different things, events, or situations, we can find the art in it. Most importantly, art is a result of cultural beliefs and influences among nations that undergo evolution and advancement. Stay safe, everyone. Have a good day, and see you on the second leg of our tour.